Hi, today we're going to create our first chatbot using Vercel and Next.js as well as ChatGPT. So let's get started. I'm going to start off with the template from Vercel here, which is templates Next.js AI GPT-3 chatbot. And if you click on view demo, you'll see that it redirects you to a repo which has that bot or that chatbot. So I'm going to get started here by just opening it up. And as soon as I open it, you'll see that I need to go to .env.example to put my open API key and my temperature. This is how accurate you want or how factual you want your chatbot to be, or how creative on the other side. So 1 is the most creative, 0 would not be as random. The size of your response, I usually increase it to 400, and then OpenAI API organization if you have different orgs here. So I'm going to set up these, and the second thing I need to do is just change it from .example to .local. And once I'm done with these two, I'm going to do an npm install. Now that I'm done with npm install, I'm going to do npm run dev. And we should start running the site itself. So you'll see here it's running on localhost 303. So let me just open it up. And once I open the chatbot 303 or localhost 303, we'll see here I have this chatbot. Hi, I'm a friendly AI assistant. Ask me anything. What is generative AI? Why not? And you'll see here it's answering what generative AI is using the chat. Now let's look at what the code looks like as well. So if I were to open it, you'll see here in my pages folder, we have a couple of things. We have our APIs. So we have an API called chat, which has your ChatGPT messages. And you'll see here it has a role system and the content of that initial prompt. You can change that to whatever you want, but this is like an initial content for the prompt. Then it has messages.push, which pushes the messages, which we're going to talk about in a minute. It has the payload for the stream. And we've seen the OpenAI stream payload before because this is using the same utility classes that we've used previously for OpenAI stream. And it's responding. So it's a very simple chatbot ultimately. Now, if I were to look at index, this is where we have the example of a simple chatbot here, and then it's saying that home.layout equal layout, and it has that AI chatbot piece, and within that there is a component called chat. So this is the component we're actually going to use. So if we were to check under components here, we'll see something called chat and something called chat line. Chat is really your chatbot interface. So you'll see here it has first an initial message called assistant and content role. Hi, I'm a friendly AI assistant. Ask me anything, which is what we've seen it say at the very beginning. If I were to ask it something else, introduction to what GPT is, and then it answers it, and then I can ask it, what was the last question I asked you? Introduction to what GPT is. So it has memory as well. It remembers everything that I wrote, but within this session only. And we're going to look at how that happens as well. So if you look here, what it takes is it has the constant input message and it has the main function chat. Function chat has messages, which sets the messages. So this is kind of an array of all the messages that we're going through. And then here it's creating a random ID, and then it's setting a cookie with a name and random ID. This is just, we're going to see where it's used, but this is really for differentiating between different users. Send message to API. So the API chat endpoint, this is where send message happens. So you'll see here, it's fetching from API chat like we've done previously, and it's using that cookie ID as the user ID. So this is the identifier ultimately for that user. And then in the messages takes the last 10 messages. So we're slicing the new messages to just the last 10 messages so that it remembers the last 10 messages here. Again, it's up to you whether you want to slice them or not, but you have to be careful that you don't want a large number that might be too large, because then it wouldn't really be useful, and the chatbot has more probability of hallucinating if you do that. So you want it to be more contextual. So 10 is a good number. I think Microsoft had it as 10 and then increased it to 15 in Microsoft Bing Chat. So I think 10 is a fair number to rely on. And then here we're getting the reader, we're getting text decoder, just like we did in our previous sessions. The only difference here is the set message takes the new messages, as you'll see here, and adds an assistant last message as a ChatGPT message. So you're ultimately aggregating all the messages into that array of messages so that you can send them with every post. So every post has all the messages and the user, and of course the messages consist of the user message as well. Now that we've seen how that chatbot works, this is a very initial one. I suggest for you to look at it and understand it well. And of course, we can deploy this very easily. It's a click to deploy. You can deploy it to GitHub and then integrate it with Vercel. The next video, we're going to start looking at how to make this chatbot more intelligent. So we're going to look at how that API here, instead of just using ChatGPT ultimately, which is what it's doing now, I want it to be able to talk to external sources. So we're going to look at how to integrate it with an external search engine to bring data in our next video. So follow us and subscribe to our channel so that you can see updated videos when they come out.